Bop, 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 bop. Hello everyone, welcome back, I should say, to It Gets So Lonely in Here. I hope everyone's had a good day, because we're going to get straight into the wrong one. I need to go into this. You were too busy trying to not fixate upon the princess's bared skin to think about how best to conceal it. My dear Jess is my amour, the princess says, in my amour, glancing over to the aforementioned piece of furniture. That amour of hers is an intricately carved wooden structure, large enough, or so you estimate, to fit inside it enough dresses to attire a whole ballroom's worth of princesses. I like to wear that red one. It's my favorite. Would you be a dear and fetch it for me? I do not want to rush you, but it is rather cold in here, especially when I'm still naked. She raises a good point. You turn away from the princesses and make your way to her armoire. I don't know why I'm speaking so rubbish right now. I think it's because it's like almost time for me to sleep, so I apologize, but at least I'm here. Once there, you open its wooden doors and pursue the clothes hanging within. It is just as you expected. Inside that wardrobe lies numerous dresses, all of them finely sewn and decorated with no shortage of ribbons, lace, and iridescent pearls. Did I just say iridescent? Dude, what? I know that word, I use it all the time. You find the princess's red dress soon enough, then hurry to her side. With your spoils in hand, you hurry to dress her, concealing once again the princess's pale skin beneath layers upon layers of soft, red velvet. She's easier to look at now, you think, with her skin concealed. That might have been the most nerve-wracking task you have ever had to accomplish, even more so than your perilous escape through the foggy forest. Why, it seems a small miracle you can still remember how to breathe. Sorry, what? Ah, that is much better. Thank you, dear one, for your help. You've not been here for a full day, but I already wonder what I'd do without you. Shyly, you assure the princess that you did nothing, really nothing, beyond your job. You did not do anything incredible. And in any case, being complimented by somebody so pretty is embarrassing. Really? Ah, don't be like that. I want to compliment you. Why shouldn't I? When you've been so helpful, it'd be rude not to. And anyway, I think you're very pretty too. Oh my. Your face flushes from this more deeply than ever before. You ought to count yourself lucky, really. What with all this excessive blushing, that the princess does not seem to possess any vampiristic tendencies. You are making yourself quite the easy target. Now, the princess declares, why don't we go for a walk? It's a nice enough day, and I get so very bored of being cooped up inside. You can't think of any particular objections to raise to this remark, and you think that the princess might have a point. The castle, though expansive, is somewhat stifling. The walls are so very thick, they put you in a mind of crypt. No, they put you in a mind of a crypt, not a crypt or the crypt. With your acquiescence assured, the princess quits her chambers, her posture elegant and her gaits unhurried. Ow! She seems not to walk as she navigates her way through the seemingly endless hallways of her home, but to float like a cloud. The hem of her dress swishes around her legs, and her hair shifts like a shroud. The castle's courtyard, meanwhile, is sadly lacking in comparison to the princess's beauty. What? Why does it look like this? Like, not how it's all like embroidered. I don't know, it doesn't look very castle-like. The courtyard is fenced in by the castle's wall, which look, in the stark midday light, tall and imposing. Faceless soldiers standing sentinel. Wait, there are actually people here? Though the sun is out, it is not particularly bright, and neither is it particularly warm. The courtyard itself, meanwhile, is in a state of disarray. The flower beds are in shambles, all overgrown with weeds. It is all rather depressing. The princess's castle might be grand in scale, but the courtyard itself is simple, hemmed in to a claustrophobic degree, like a coffin. The princess, however, does not share your dolorous mood. She instead looks elated by her newfound surroundings, her smile unwavering. She gambols about like a lamb, flitting hither and thither. Sorry, what did you just say? Flittering, hithering, and thither. Excuse me, as she examines the weed-infested flower beds. I'm gonna have to search that up. Her frolicking comes to a cease, however, by a bush. One is full of bright red roses. Oh, how very pretty. Do you not think these are gorgeous, dear one? The flowers are not too disappointing, you suppose? Ah, they make for a fine spectacle. In fact, a welcome splash of colour when contrasted with the dullness and the drabness which permeates the rest of the courtyard. Though the other flowers in their beds are withered things, it is not so for these roses. I had some sparkling water, sorry. They are a rich, bright red. Just like blood. Their heads so full they almost to droop. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm just ruining this for everyone. Their heads so full they seem almost to droop beneath the weight of their own engorged petals. They are pretty, in a sense, but there is something unsettling about them too, something that is almost obscene. How did the roses become so very red? What has been sustaining them? Could it be possible that these roses have been draining the life from the other flowers, which are struggling to grow within the garden? What a weird process or to conclusion to come to instantly. It is a fanciful thought, but oh, they are simply divine. Looking at these roses always lifts my spirits. They really are my most favorite flower. I simply must pick some of them. Perhaps I could use them to decorate my bedchamber. It could use a bit of color. The princess reaches out as to pluck one of the roses free from its resting place among its brethren. You watch her, your breath bated, anxious that this gesture might result in perforated flesh and bright red blood. But the princess is not as clumsy as you fear. Of course she is not. Who do you think she was? You, not me. Rather than worrying about other people, you would be better served if you worried more about yourself. The princess holds her newly pilfered rose to her nose and inhales, her eyelids falling shut as the flower's sweet scent washes over her. A few moments of silence pass. Then the princess begins to toy with the petals which adorn the flower's crown. Now, let me see. I wonder what fate has in store for me. She loves me. The princess plucks a petal from the flower's overburdened head. She loves me not. The princess continues with this child incantation, all the while stripping her rose slowly and methodically of its petals. These petals flutter about the princess like bloody snow. The princess's voice, meanwhile, echoes throughout the courtyard, even more melodic than the strains of pianola. She loves me not. She loves me not. The princess's fingers hover over the final petal, which crowns her nearly denutted flower. Denutted? What the fuck? Then, with a triumphant smile, she declares, "She loves me! I know it!" You watch the princess, amused by her girlish good cheer. The little mantra she has been reciting is one that you are familiar with. The girls at the conservatoire also used to engage in this little game. The younger ones, at least, who believed that the fairy tale prince would whisk them away. You might have participated in this game yourself when you were a child, but you never pinned your hopes and dreams on a handsome prince. Your interest in princes has always been minimal. When it comes to fair princesses, though, well, that is a different matter altogether, isn't it? Pleasantly, you ask the princess whose love it is you wishes to court, a query which makes the princess giggle. "Oh dear one, who else would I be thinking of? Naturally, I was thinking of you." "Of me? Really? Naturally?" She says it so easily, as thought you ought to have suspected as much, and indeed, part of you did. You wanted to believe, yet part of you was afraid to. You did not want to be arrogant enough to assume that the princess might care for your affections. Oh, she's joking. You begin to blush, your cheeks almost as red as the roses, while the princess laughs. She laughs, and she laughs, and she laughs. Okay, wow. Her voice clear and sweet, like a nightingale song, as though you are the funniest thing she had ever seen. Am I? You never liked being laughed at when you dealt within the walls of the conservatoire, but it is a difference with her. You have not known her for all that long, but you are already entranced by her ensnared. I'm so sorry. She has wrapped you around her little finger. Like that. Oh my. The princess's laughter tapers off into a series of giggles. Smiling, she wipes her eyes with the back of her hand. That was quite the amusing diversion. But I've just had an idea. You look at the princess curiously. What idea? You can't tell. You can't even begin to guess. I just thought that all this watching must be boring you, the princess says, tossing the rose-stripped stem carelessly to the ground. You should give it a try. Please do, it'd be fun. The princess retrieves a second rose from the bushes, definitely snapping it defiantly between her fingers, and offers it to you. Like, here, do it. I want to see what fate has in store for you too. You smile at the princess, touched by her enthusiasm. Indulging in childish games like this might have not been the best use of your time, but the princess looked so very determined you would not wish to hurt her. What could be the harm, really, in consenting? The only real causality of this game would be one singular rose, the rose that the princess is holding towards you. You reach out, meaning to accept the princess's offering, but... Again, the music. Oh no. You were clumsy, and you seized the stem of the rose with a touch too much strength. Oh no, I'm bled. Ow. The head of the rose might be pretty, but there is more to a rose than the bright red flowers. Roses have thorns too, a fact you are now painfully reminded of. Pain flares through your fingertips, and you gasp. You take a step back, the hem of your skirt swishing around your ankles. Your finger is stinging, and so are your eyes. You ought to have been more careful. Why were you so stupid? You poor dear, you're bleeding, the princess exclaims, alarmed. Then she frowns. This is all my fault. If I had not suggested this silly game, this never would have happened. Please, let me take care of you. And how is she going to do that? Perhaps she means to take a handkerchief from her pocket, which she might scorch your wound. Princesses tend to carry handkerchiefs around with them, don't they? Silken ones. How else would they give brave knights tokens of their gratitude once these aforementioned knights have successfully slain dragons? Excuse me? Princesses can hardly dispense kisses as favors. It is simply not done. That is what you've always thought, but... Please, hold still. This might sting a little bit. This princess is anything but ordinary. Rather than take a handkerchief out of her pocket, she instead encloses her white, slender fingers around your hand. Carefully, as you thought she is handling a precious object, she raises your hand, her eyes fixated all the while on the beads of a startlingly crimson blood which are oozing ludicrously from your wounds. She licks her lower lip. Then she dips her head. Oh! That's what I look like? Aw. She parts her mouth, and with a soft sigh, which borders on the sensuous, she slips your injured digit between her teeth. So much for Princess not dispensing kisses of a token of appreciation. This might not be a conventional kiss, but it feels intimate regardless of almost startlingly so. The princess's lips, which are now as red as any rose, are enclosed around your index finger. You can feel the warmth of the princess's mouth around your skin and the wetness of it. Are you serious? These sensations make your whole body quake. Oh my god. You did not expect this. I didn't expect this. Tremendously, in a voice which wavers, you ask the princess what it is she is doing. What are you doing? Oh, the princess glances up at you, her mouth still enclosed around your finger. Didn't I tell you? I'm trying to stop the bleeding. Yes, you gathered as much, but... Is there a problem? I'm not making you uncomfortable, am I? It is not, you say, that she is making you uncomfortable per se, but this is rather awkward. You did not expect it, that is all. And she is not worried that this is unhygienic. Yeah, isn't that bad? Unhygienic? The princess blinks. She's the very picture of innocence, which is funny really, given your finger is still nested against her tongue. Ew. I don't know what you mean by that exactly, but I heard this is the best way to take care of cuts. My nursemaid used to do this for me when I was a child. It's what you're supposed to do. And you ask, with your voice catching in your throat, did her nursemaid keep scorching her wound with her mouth when she grew older? Well, no, but my nursemaid was dismissed when I was 8 years old. That's the normal way of things. I had my lady's maids to look after me then. How very interesting. And did they ever clean her wounds like this? No, the princess says, smiling mischievously. Because I'm not clumsy enough to cut myself, silly. Now that is quite the sharp retort. You did not expect it. Your face turns even redder. If such a thing is possible, though, this might perhaps be your benefit. What do you mean by that? With some luck, all of your blood will flow to your face, rather than your finger, and your bleeding will stop. Has it stopped? Your injury was not a deep one. There should be no need for the princess to keep on suckling, but she still is. You are not accustomed to intimacy of this nature. It is making your heart flutter. If the princess knew what her mouth was doing to you, stop, you are sure she would not be so very familiar. You feel quietly, didn't she just confess to me? You feel quietly, crushingly confident that she would scorn you for your feelings and deem them unnatural. It would not be the first time. At this point, you should be used to rejection. It still stings though. It stings much, much more than any thorn on any rose ever could. She's still doing it. The days pass. What? following your misadventures into the rose garden, a relaxed, unhurried sort of manner. So, your mad dash through the forest is beginning to feel like a distant memory, so much so you can scarringly recall the raw, naked fear you once felt as you fled for your life. There is no running to be had while you were working for the princess. You would have nowhere else to run, and in any event, there is no longer any reason to run. The shadows which once tormented you, at long last begun to recede. You can scarringly recall, as you lay down in your bed, the petty cruelties you were subjected to by your classmates at the conservatoire. Oh, you're back on the conservatoire talk. They no longer matter. Your attention is focused not upon yourself, but upon the princess. The more time you expend with her, the more you come to care for her. You have become quite besotted with her, but you are yet to realize it. Well, I never. How very ignorant can one girl be of her own feelings? What the hell was that? The princess is not half so ignorant as you are, though. Despite having spent her whole life within the palace walls, the weight of her own feelings are not unknown to her, and during one stormy night, she chooses to make them known to you. Ah, what? Wait, are we about to kiss? Oh my god, well I'm gonna leave this for next time. I don't want to give you too much. Safe. Yeah. You gotta behave yourself. Too much in one day is bad for your health, is bad for your heart. And, I don't know. It's late for me, it's late for the game. I feel like something's gonna happen. But you will be seeing that next time, so no more dilly-dallying around. Sorry, why did I say that? But yeah, hope everyone liked that. And I'm gonna leave this here, and I know what this button is gonna do. It's gonna end the video in 3,